Proverbs 10:29. The Lord is a stronghold to him who walks honestly, but to evildoers their downfall. That was our memorization verse from last week. Did you remember? I didn't, and I had to memorize it this morning, being completely honest. Anyway, hi everyone, happy Sunday. Hope you've had a good week. Today we are continuing on in the Proverbs with chapters 11 through 15 or 16. We'll see how far we get. Let's go ahead and get started with Proverbs chapter 11. False scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a full weight is his delight. When pride comes, disgrace comes, but with the humble is wisdom. The honesty of the upright guides them, the faithless are ruined by their duplicity. Wealth is useless on the day of wrath, but virtue saves from death. The honest man's virtue makes his way straight, but by his wickedness the wicked man falls. The virtue of the upright saves them, but the faithless are caught in their own intrigue. When a wicked man dies, his hope perishes, and what is expected from strength comes to naught. The just man escapes trouble, and the wicked man falls into his stead. With his mouth the impious man would ruin his neighbor, but through their knowledge the just make their escape. When the just prosper, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is jubilation. Through the blessing of the righteous, the city is exalted, but through the mouth of the wicked, it is overthrown. He who reviles his neighbor has no sense, but the intelligent man keeps silent. A newsmonger reveals secrets, but a trustworthy man keeps a confidence. For lack of guidance, a people falls. Security lies in many counselors. He is in a bad way who becomes surety for another, but he who hates giving pledges is safe. A gracious woman wins esteem, but she who hates virtue is covered with shame. The slothful becomes impoverished, but the diligent gain wealth. A kindly man benefits himself, but a merciless man harms himself. The wicked man makes empty profits, but he who sows virtue has a sure reward. Virtue directs toward life, but he who pursues evil does so to his death. The depraved in heart are an abomination to the Lord, but those who walk blamelessly are his delight. Truly the evil man shall not go unpunished, but those who are just shall escape. Like a golden ring in a swine's snout is a beautiful woman with a rebellious disposition. The desire of the just ends only in good. The expectation of the wicked is wrath. One man is lavish, yet grows still richer. Another is too sparing, yet is the poorer. He who confesses benefits will be amply enriched, and he who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Him who monopolizes grain, the people curse, but blessings upon the head of him who distributes it. He who seeks the good commands favor, but he who pursues evil will have evil befall him. He who trusts in his riches will fall, but like green leaves, the just flourish. He who upsets his household has empty air for a heritage, and the fool becomes slave to the wise man. The fruit of virtue is a tree of life, but violence takes lives away. If the just man is punished on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? Chapter 12. He who loves correction loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. That's a lot like one of the ones we read last week, if you remember. He who loves correction loves knowledge, so he who's okay being corrected likes to learn. But he who hates reproof, he who hates being corrected, is stupid. Very blunt. The good man wins favor from the Lord, but the schemer is condemned by him. No man is built up by wickedness, but the root of the just will never be disturbed. A worthy wife is the crown of her husband, but a disgraceful one is like rot in his bones. A worthy wife is the crown of her husband, but a disgraceful one is like rot in his bones. Something to remember. The plans of the just are legitimate. The designs of the wicked are deceitful. The words of the wicked are a deadly ambush, but the speech of the upright saves them. These are so good. The words of the wicked are a deadly ambush, but the speech of the upright saves them. What we say matters. Words have power when you're encouraging action or discouraging, depending on the situation. The wicked are overthrown and are no more, but the house of the just stands firm. According to his good sense, man is praised, but one with a warped mind is despised. Better a lowly man who supports himself than one of assumed importance who lacks bread. The just man takes care of his beast, but the heart of the wicked is merciless. He who tills his own land has food in plenty, but he who follows idle pursuits is a fool. The stronghold of evil men will be demolished, but the root of the just is enduring. In the sin of his lips, the evil man is ensnared, but the just comes free of trouble. From the fruit of his words, a man has his fill of good things, and the work of his hands comes back to reward him. The way of the fool seems right in his own eyes, but he who listens to advice is wise. The fool immediately shows his anger, but the shrewd man passes over an insult. He tells the truth who states what he is sure of, but a lying witness speaks deceitfully. The prating of some men is like sword thrusts, but the tongue of the wise is healing. Truthful lips endure forever, the lying tongue for only a moment. Deceit is in the hands of those who plot evil, but those who counsel peace have joy. No harm befalls the just, but the wicked are overwhelmed with misfortune. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who are truthful are his delight. A shrewd man conceals his knowledge, but the heart of fools gush forth folly. The diligent hand will govern, but the slothful will be enslaved. Anxiety in a man's heart depresses it, but a kindly word makes it glad. The just man surpasses his neighbor, but the way of the wicked leads them astray. The slothful man catches not his prey, but the wealth of the diligent man is great. In the path of justice there is life, but the abominable ways lead to death. Chapter 13. A wise son loves correction, but the senseless one heeds no rebuke. From the fruit of his words a man eats good things, but the treacherous one craves violence. He who guards his mouth protects his life. To open wide one's lips brings downfall. The soul of the sluggard craves in vain, but the diligent soul is amply satisfied. Anything deceitful the just man hates, but the wicked brings shame and disgrace. Virtue guards one who walks honestly, but the downfall of the wicked is sin. One man pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. A man's riches serve as ransom for his life, but the poor man heeds no rebuke. The light of the just shines gaily, but the lamp of the wicked goes out. The stupid man sows discord by his insolence, but with those who take counsel is wisdom. Wealth quickly gotten dwindles away, but amassed little by little it grows. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a wish fulfilled is a tree of life. He who despises the word must pay for it, but he who reveres the commandment will be rewarded. The teaching of the wise is the fountain of life, that a man may avoid the snares of death. Good sense brings favor, but the way of the faithless is their ruin. The shrewd man does everything with prudence, but the fool peddles folly. A wicked messenger brings on disaster, but a trustworthy envoy is a healing remedy. Poverty and shame befall the man who disregards correction, but he who heeds reproof is honored. Lust indulged starves the soul, but fools hate to turn from evil. Walk with wise men, and you will become wise, but the companion of fools will fare badly. Misfortune pursues sinners, but the just shall be recompensed with good. The good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the just. A lawsuit devours the tillage of the poor, but some men perish for lack of a law court. He who spares the rod hates his son, but he who loves him takes care to chastise him. When the just man eats, his hunger is appeased, but the belly of the wicked suffers want. Chapter 14. Wisdom builds her house, but folly tears hers down with her own hands. He who walks uprightly fears the Lord, but he who is devious in his ways spurns him. In the mouth of the fool is a rod for his back, but the lips of the wise preserve them. When there are no oxen, the crib remains empty, but the large crops come through the strength of the bull. A truthful witness does not lie, but a false witness utters lies. The senseless man seeks in vain for wisdom, but knowledge is easy to the man of intelligence. To avoid the foolish man takes steps, but knowing lips one meets by surprise. The shrewd man's wisdom gives him knowledge of his way, but the folly of fools is their deception. Guilt lodges in the tents of the arrogant, but favor in the house of the just. The heart knows its own bitterness, and in its joy no one else shares. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. Sometimes a way seems right to a man, but the end of it leads to death. Even in laughter the heart may be sad, and the end of joy may be sorrow. The scoundrel suffers the consequences of his ways, and the good man reaps the fruit of his paths. The simpleton believes everything, but the shrewd man measures his steps. The wise man is cautious and shuns evil. The fool is reckless and sure of himself. The quick-tempered man makes a fool of himself, but the prudent man is at peace. The adornment of simpletons is folly, but shrewd men gain the crown of knowledge. Evil men must bow down before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the just. Even by his neighbor the poor man is hated, but the friends of the rich are many. He sins who despises the hungry, but happy is he who is kind to the poor. Do not those who plot evil go astray, but those intent on good gain kindness and constancy. In all labor there is profit, but mere talk tends only to penury. The crown of the wise is resourcefulness, the diadem of fools is folly. The truthful witness saves lives, but he who utters lies is a betrayer. In the fear of the Lord is a strong defense. Even for one's children he will be a refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, and that a man may avoid the snares of death. In many subjects lies the glory of the king, but if his people are few, the prince's ruin. It is the prince's ruin. The patient man shows much good sense, but the quick-tempered man displays folly at its height. A tranquil mind gives life to the body, but jealousy rots the bones. He who oppresses the poor blasphemes his maker, but he who is kind to the needy glorifies him. The wicked man is overthrown by his wickedness, but the just man finds a refuge in his honesty. In the heart of the intelligent, wisdom abides, but in the bosom of fools it is unknown. Virtue exalts a nation, but sin is a people's disgrace. The king favors the intelligent servant, but the worthless one incurs his wrath. Chapter 15. A mild answer calms wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise pours out knowledge, but the mouth of fools spurts forth folly. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A soothing tongue is a tree of life, but a perverse one crushes the spirit. The fool spurns his father's admonition, but prudent is he who heeds reproof. In the house of the just there are ample resources, but the earnings of the wicked are in turmoil. The lips of the wise disseminate knowledge, but the heart of fools is perverted. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves the man who pursues virtue. Severe punishment is in store for the man who goes astray. He who hates reproof will die. The netherworld and the abyss lie open before the Lord. How much more the hearts of men? The senseless man loves not to be reproved. To wise men he will not go. A glad heart lies up a face, but by mental anguish the spirit is broken. The mind of the intelligent man seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fools feeds on folly. Every day is miserable for the depressed, but a light-hearted man has a continual feast. Better a little with fear of the Lord than a great fortune with anxiety. Better a dish of herbs where love is than a fatted ox where hatred with it. An ill-tempered man stirs up strife, but a patient man allays discord. The way of the sluggard is hemmed in with thorns, but the path of the diligent is a highway. A wise son makes his father glad, but a fool of a man despises his mother. Folly is joy to the senseless man, but the man of understanding goes the straight way. Plans fail when there is no counsel, but they succeed when counselors are many. There's joy for a man in his utterance, a word in season, how good it is. The path of life leads the prudent man upward, that he may avoid the netherworld below. The Lord overturns the house of the proud, but he preserves intact the widow's landmark. The wicked man's schemes are an abomination to the Lord, but the pure speak what is pleasing to him. He who is greedy of gain brings ruin on his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The just man weighs well his utterance, but the mouth of the wicked pours out evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but the prayer of the just he hears. A cheerful glance brings joy to the heart. Good news invigorates the bones. He who listens to salutary reproof will abide among the wise. He who rejects admonition despises his own soul, but he who heeds reproof gains understanding. The fear of the Lord is training for wisdom, and humility goes before honors. And that's where we'll stop for today. There's a couple that, again, correspond with the songs. Okay, I just wanted to double check. But yes, there's a song for Proverbs 15, verse 3. I'll link that in the box below. That's the same, it was a tape when I had it, the CD that I've talked about before and linked before. It's Proverbs 15, verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. So that is linked below. I encourage everyone to listen to it. Again, these songs, we had the cassette tape. My mom played it in the car when we were kids, and it still sticks many years later. Another verse that I just wanted to talk about for a minute. Proverbs back in chapter 11, verse 13. A newsmonger reveals secrets, but a trustworthy man keeps a confidence. This applies to adults too, but I feel like this is something that was even more relevant when I was younger, and I'm sure it wasn't just me. In high school or when you're younger, it's really easy to, again, this applies to adults too. You want to fit in. You want to be accepted in a group, and sometimes a way to do that is to be the person that has information. Everybody wants to have the information and to tell, be the one to be able to tell. And it can be really tempting to use information that we have about somebody else to gain favor, to be liked by somebody else. And it can be something that was maybe told to us, I guess, whether the person that was telling you said, this is a secret, don't tell anybody. You know when somebody is telling a confidence. And that's, I believe, what this is talking about. The newsmonger reveals secrets, but a trustworthy man, or woman, of course, keeps a confidence. So that's something that I wish I'd had a better grasp on both sides of it. Remember that if you don't tell us, or it can also be easy to tell a secret to somebody to make them like you because you want to fit in with them. So you might tell them a secret about you, but if they are not a trustworthy person, they're probably going to pass that along somewhere. So it goes both ways. Just use wisdom and discernment. And I will tell you this, I'm in my 30s, and the older I get, it's true. It's easier to not care as much what random people think and not alter your behavior just to be liked. I'm not saying that I'm perfect at that, but the older you get, it's easier to say, if that person doesn't align with my values, then I don't need to be friends with them, and that's okay. It's harder when you're younger. I remember it wasn't that long ago. So anyway, let us go ahead and close as we do with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. All right. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye.